Call this meeting to order of the Stanislaus County Major L Oversight Committee. And I would ask everyone to rise and we will pledge the pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. It is. All right. I need a motion to approve member requests to participate remotely due to emergency circumstances.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Is anyone joining us via remote? That first. All right, now we're going to have public comments. I would ask that you keep your comments to less than 5 minutes. Do we have any public comments?
Mr. Chair, can we call a roll first?
You know what? We can do that. Let's do that first.
Thank you. Stanislaus County Representative Chair Paul Van Kleinenberg.
I am here.
City of Ceres Representative Dave Pratt.
Here.
City of Houston Representative Mike Day. City of Mike Day.
Here.
The City of Modesto Representative Craig Lewis.
Here.
City of Oakdale Representative Justin Bachman.
Here.
City of Patterson Representative Peter Latour Jr. City of Riverbank Representative Carrie Pope.
Here.
City of Turlock Representative Vice Chair Derek Domi.
Here.
And City of Waterford Representative Jose Aldaco.
Present.
Mr. Chair, you have a quorum.
Thank you. We'll now ask for public comments. Please keep your comments to less than 5 minutes. Do we have any public comments from online? Any public comments from here? Seeing none, we'll move on. Our first item tonight is a presentation from the City of Oakdale. And they're going to be presenting the projects that they've been doing in the City of Oakdale that have been funded by Measure L. I just want to say before you get started that when we were doing Measure L, the campaign, I just wanted to say how much I appreciated the City of Oakdale. They had a really detailed plan of what they were going to do if Measure L got started. And then once the measure passed, they were one of the first cities to get on and start doing projects. So even before you start, I just want to give you a hand of affirmation.
Thank you for that. Thank you. Good evening. My name is Karina McDonald. I am the Capital Projects Manager for the City of Oakdale. And unfortunately, our Director of Public Services couldn't be here tonight, so he sent me. So you guys got me. And I'm, yeah. I speak in front of our council, but I typically don't get out into the world to do these types of presentations, but I'm happy to be here tonight to talk about a Measure L project that we have completed and one that started Monday. It started Monday along with the rain, but we're getting it underway. So that's what we're going to talk about just a little bit tonight. Next slide. So the project that we completed earlier this year was on Cloverland Way. It was a street rehabilitation project. Cloverland Way is in Northeast Oakdale. There is a school near there, and it's heavily used neighborhood. The project was for surface improvements as well as utility improvements. It took approximately 74 days to complete that project. The majority of the project on Cloverland was complete remove and replace and replacement of all sewer, water, and storm facilities. So that road, we tore it pretty good. On Terrace Way, which is right off of Cloverland, we did a micro grind and a micro surface. Next slide, please. Here's a map of Cloverland and all the work that was done there, the area that we covered on Cloverland Way. This was the complete removal and replacement in that neighborhood. Next slide. Here you can see Terrace Way that comes right off of Cloverland, and here we did the microsurface, and it was a type 2, so it was a pretty heavy grind, but because of the use of this road and the curvature, we felt like that was the best way to take care of this road, and it didn't need new utility or sewer water replacement. So this one took 74 days, and this is our before pictures. It was in very rough shape. And then These are our afters. There's a little bit of striping left to be done. We hit some weather where we didn't get it done, and we have them coming back out for another project, so we're gonna complete that with the other project that's finishing up. But it's definitely a huge improvement for this neighborhood and this area, and obviously having the new utility facilities is a big deal for that side of town. The Southwest Downtown ATP Safe Routes to School project that also includes a large portion of Measure L is the project you see before you on this map. This is the largest streets project the city of Oakdale has ever undertaken. It is massive. Southwest Downtown began on Monday. The average PCI in this area is a 27, and that was very generous. On 3rd Street, I would say the PCI runs somewhere around a 14. It's basically dirt. The neighborhood has been neglected for a really long time, and there's a really, a fine line between when you can make repairs and keep something going before you have to kind of let it go, spend your money elsewhere, and then go in and just completely replace. The great thing about this is all the funds that we were able to put together so that we can redo all of the sidewalks, all of the utilities. We'll put in all new pathways for bikes and really revitalize this area. So we're very excited to get to do this project. It will be a 270-day project, so we don't anticipate finishing until the end of October. But at that time, I think, aside from how difficult it's going to be to interfere with our neighborhoods' lives, I think that they will be really, really pleased, and it's going to make a huge difference in that area of town. This area is near the high school because everything in Oakdale is near a school, so there is a level of difficulty in navigating that in this project. Next slide. Here are some of our current conditions. These are just a couple weeks ago. And in some areas, that's one of the worst ones in front of that house where she basically just has dirt in front of her house. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, 3rd I would say is the worst. 1st is pretty bad. Maybe coming this way towards the high school, going west, it gets worse and worse, but over half of the areas of these streets are just gravel at this point. So we haven't had a lot of negativity from the neighborhood at all. They've been pretty open to the project and understanding for the timeline. This is obviously a complete utility replacement as well, so there will be some difficulty for the residents as we go through. Next slide. Any questions for me?
Question? Justin?
I just want to comment. I want to say that being a resident of Oakdale, obviously I drive these streets and the city's done a great job, especially Cleveland Way. I know people that live on that street. They were very happy with the construction crews, the progress, the speed went very well. So I have full faith that the Southwest will be the same. If you've never driven in the Southwest part of Oakdale, it's really bad. So it's very much needed. So thank you guys for what you do.
Thank you so much. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Mike Day from Houston. So I echo that. My brother-in-law lives in Oakdale. We visit him frequently, and I've driven that area and wondered what is wrong with this part of town that it doesn't get the money. So glad to see it going there. Can you speak to any leveraging of Measure L funds that have been done to attract other money and mesh them together?
For this project, we leveraged leveraged Measure L in order to also get CDBG funds. So we're using those towards this project, and then we're also using some ATP funding towards this project. That's really the only way that we were able to do it, was to find more than one source to do this massive of an area at a time. We really felt like it didn't make a lot of sense to just come in and do just 3rd Street or just one street. We did the big improvement to our downtown area, and after that, our focus has been 100% neighborhoods, and this was going to be our first area to touch, and so we wanted to make a really big impact right away. And Measure L is a huge part of that for this project. We wouldn't be able to do it without it.
Go ahead. Rick.
What percentage of these projects, these two projects, were Measure L money?
I'm not sure on Cloverland Way. I didn't run that project, so I'm not sure of the finances exactly on that one. I want to say that Cloverland was probably 75% Measure L. For Southwest Downtown, Measure L is about 47% of this project.
My question is, because we love what Measure L does, and you guys have been great at using the funds, what did the promotion side of it look like, letting people know that these Measure L funds are making this huge difference? Was there any type of promotion done? Because the before and after are phenomenal,
Yeah.
and we want people to be like, hey, this stuff is working, let's keep doing it.
Yes, that's been a big focus from our city manager since I took this position. I just started in this position in May. That we really make sure that we're making it clear what the before and afters look like when we do work in the city of any kind, but especially in our streets because that's such a huge deal. So when we had this project approved by City Council, we immediately asked our local newspaper to run an article about it. They talked about the use of Measure L funds in the newspaper article. And then we've been doing some online advertising on social media, as well as sending letters to the residents. And we talk about the multi-funding in our letters and in our social media. Tomorrow, our big construction signs will go up that indicate the funding that's being used to provide this project. And we fully intend to make it clear throughout the project that that's how this is getting done. And especially at the end, we're doing a groundbreaking, we'll do a ribbon cutting for this particular project because it is so big. And so we'll be able to really put it out there and make a big deal about not only how much work it was, but where the funding came from and how we're able to do these projects.
You guys see, Paul's right, you're a rock star.
Yeah.
Doing great.
I just, so just so you know, everyone knows the ATP funds, they had to compete against the rest of California for those funds. And kudos for whoever did your grant writing, because I know that those are very
Yeah,
hard to get. And so, again, congratulations.
thank you.
And a capital stack that only uses 47% Measure L funds and gets that done is a great, great achievement. So that's what we had looked forward to when this is the type of projects we were looking forward to. You're taking a legacy neighborhood that needs some attention. This legacy neighborhood is going to get that attention, and you're doing it in a way where you're bringing in outside funds to make the capital stack not a 100% Measure L. And along the way, you know, we all know that some of our utilities in the street are they don't last forever. They have to be touched up, and so being able to do that at the same time is a bonus. So I just want to thank you for coming out on a windy, stormy night
Of course.
and informing us of that and informing the general public. And thank you for advertising this to the community, because that's what we talk about here all the time, is letting community members know what's going on.
Of course, we're happy to do it. When we're done, we'd be happy to come back and show you guys what we've done, let you know when we're there. We're really excited
We take you up on that offer.
for the completion of this project. I appreciate you guys' time. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. All right, at this time, we're going to move to the consent calendar. Can I have a motion to approve the consent calendar?
Motion to approve.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Motion is carried. I'll now move to the Measure L annual report. And Jean, would you please give us a presentation?
Yes, thank you so much. So before you, you have the no longer draft Measure L annual report. Before I really dive into the,
Were all those handed out? Because we did not. Some of us don't have.
oh, I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
got
We probably, I'm going to just make sure, it probably was our mistake.
No,
supposed to
no,
pick it up.
no, you should, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you for being generous about it, though. So in front of you now, you have the Measure L annual 23-24 report. Before I get started on my presentation, I really wanted to give special thanks to all the jurisdictions, the MLOC, and all those that gave us feedback on the report. It was very helpful for us to get that feedback from everyone and put it in the report. It was truly a team effort, and it made it for a better report. So this was actually taken to the policy board last month for acceptance, and it was unanimously approved. Next slide, please. So this slide shows our financial overview. And if you look at the regional projects, I just wanted to highlight that because you can see our revenues are 16.7 million, where our expenditures are 15.2 million. So we're, as far as the regional projects go, it looks like we're, we're putting money, getting money and expending it pretty quickly. That's a good thing. And then our totals at the very bottom of the chart, you'll see that we have overall 60.4 million in revenue and 50.5 million in expenditures. Again, it's a $10 million gap, but for that amount of money, I would say we're doing a pretty good job, again, spending our funds. Next slide. So this slide goes over some of the highlights of the local projects. You can see that there's two in particular that I'll be highlighting here. The first one is the Measure L Paradise Road, and that's highlighted on page 12 of the report. And the project was completed in August 2024 and provided pavement rehabilitation on Paradise Road between Sheraton Avenue, First Jefferson between Paradise Road and Vine Street, and Washington Street between 2nd Street and First. The work included pavement resurfacing for ADA curb ramps, upgrades, striping signage, lighting, rectangular rapid flashing beacons, pedestrian median islands, raised speed cushions, and traffic signal upgrades. The project also included the installation of roundabouts at the intersection of Paradise Road and Chicago Avenue and Washington Street and First Street. I just wanted to say this project, if you look at the before and after of this project, you can see it's also important just to see the before and after of the kids getting into the high school. The before, you can see there was not, it's not, they're not walking in a cohesive manner. There's nothing to show them where to go. But in the after, you can see that that has been changed. And so that this is really helping them get to school and crossing the street and such safely. The next project I wanted to highlight is on page 18, and that's the Waterford F Street, Improving F Street project. And this one here had heavy traffic, including large commercial vehicles that had left F Street in poor condition, with numerous deep ruts and potholes that made the road rough and in need of frequent repairs. The F Street overlay project, completed in September 23, was conducted between Yosemite Boulevard, State Route 132, and the North City limit. Using Measure L and SB1 funds, the project included frontage improvements such as installing new curbs, gutters, and sidewalks, widening the pavement, upgrading curb returns, enhancing storm drains, and resurfacing the roadway and applying new striping. Next slide. So this year, one of the things that we did, and this came as a suggestion, I don't know if it was this group, I can't recall, but it was a suggestion from last year that we should do a little look ahead about what's coming. So we know what we've done in the past. People do get confused about the year and that we're essentially a year behind with this report, but financially there's no other option. But they also wanted to see where we are looking for 2025. So I just wanted to put in here a couple of little slides of Newman, who did a really good job of their street rehabilitation project for 2025, and the Houston Surface Improvement Project Phase 2. I thought the MLOC might like to see that. I know there was a little comment about Houston, so they're trying, they're chugging along. Yes. Oh, good. I'm glad you like it. Yes, the map obviously is very helpful, especially like you were saying, Member Day, you know, you knew where the project was in Oakdale, but yeah, to center you and to get you familiar exactly where things are going on, that I agree, it's very helpful. Next slide, please. So the regional projects, we know which one is our biggie, and that's the State Route 132 West. That's the pictures that you see here. Then we have also the North County Corridor, Phase 1. And one of the ones I like to highlight is all the projects along State Route 99. I might have said this before, but I'll say it again. Just the way it's laid out this time, I think does a better job of making a person, especially a lay person that has no idea what's going on, understand what's going to happen along State Route 99. You have these three big projects: Stanford Interchange, Briggsmore Interchange, and Service Mitchell Road Interchange. So you can see, if you know the dynamics, what's going to happen.
They're going back to the drawing board on that project because it's costing them more than they thought it's going to cost them.
Yeah, at the time of this report, the project was going forward as noted, but yes, I understand they have to make some changes. Yes, but thank you for saying so. Yeah, but it still will happen.
Yeah, they're still, yeah.
Thank you, Member Pratt. Okay, next slide, please. So this one, this slide shows what the transit operators are doing, and of course, the transit operators are part of Measure L. They receive Measure L funds. They received a small amount of Measure L funds, and but they also receive a lot of other funds from the Federal Transit Administration, FHWA, and oh no, they don't get FHWA, Federal Transit Administration. They get a lot of money from there, and then the state to do their projects. So they have good pots, big pots of money that they can draw from to make their operating hold. And then they also have local transportation funds, which is another big pot of money for them. One of the things that was mentioned as a suggestion, I think it was at the Management and Finance Committee, was next year, let's put in here a little bit more information about the type of funds that transit can pull from. And then also, let's see, also, anyway, oh yeah, and then just include the state and federal funding tables so people can see that they do use Measure L, but they have all these other different resources in order to do their projects.
Maps right there. Here's what we spent, and there's a figure that tells you how much is leverage from other big. Right there.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we were really trying hard to hear the messages. It was very good that I don't know if I mentioned this either, but Convey Inc., who's doing our public information and outreach campaign, also did this report for us. So they, as we were going along in just talking about the Measure L outreach and public awareness campaign, they met with all the cities along with us. So it was Rosa, myself, and their city managers and city officials, and then a member of the Convey Inc. staff. So they heard firsthand some of these stories we were hearing. Of course, they've attended a couple of the MLOC meetings, a couple of the management and finance. So they've got a I don't want to make this derogatory, but their perspective on the report was different than what we had in the past. Because what we had in the past, and this is not saying anything's wrong with it, was we gave the other marketing firm information, and they just put the information in, not knowing what it meant. But these guys, because they've been involved with us, they know what it means. And then Sybil Hatch, who is the primary person at Convey, also was an engineer in a past life. So we got sort of double duty just based on her knowledge, and then their collective hearing us out on what was important to the community for Measure L. So that was extremely helpful. I hope to see that happen again next year, because I think along with them, we tried to incorporate all the comments that we got. And so it was just helpful to have another set of eyes and ears saying, hey, we need to, really do this. So it was, I think, a good combination, which made a stronger report in the end.
Just for the other members, it's on page 7. You see on the right there at the bottom, you see expenditures of 50.57 million. But then right at the bottom, it says it's attracted 126 million in grant funding thanks to Measure L. So I was glad to just kind of see it right there, because we've been asking that question. It's like, how much?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you so much. Next slide. So this presentation went to our various advisory committees. And at the Management and Finance Committee, there were a couple of comments made that we, as we go along, we're collecting the comments. And that was going back to the, well, two things, that we show the balances on each of the projects. So right now we show the revenue expenditures, but we don't show balances, which would be important to especially the smaller cities that do carry a balance, because they have to sort of save up, if you will, in order to do a project. So we'll implement that next year, and then also put in the information about the transit funding for there. And then we made a very, very important addition to the booklet here. You would find it on page 31 that appropriately shows the members of our MLOC committee, which I don't think we had done before. So just a way of thanks to you all for all the hard work that you do. And so it's 31 right underneath the policy board members. And with that, I would be happy to take
Questions for Jean? Great.
Thank you very much, Mike, for pointing out to 126 million on page 7. Hopefully that can be a bigger, not all number right here, but that should be shown somewhere, that leverage effect. We raised 60 million and we more than doubled.
Okay, good point.
And so
Mhm.
that 126 needs to be blown up a lot. And then secondly is, what is your, who gets this and how is this being circulated around the community?
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, for instance, next week I have a presentation at the Commission on Aging. So they asked for that. Actually, our CAC member chair, John Dinan, asked for a presentation, so we'll be presenting there. So various presentations around the county as asked for. And then Rosa and Cindy and I were going to meet and talk a little bit more about exactly how to put this out there in the community, like maybe taking it to the various chambers and such, so that they have copies of it. I should be able to report back to you next meeting on that.
Follow-up, could I recommend that this be given to all city councils, put in the city offices, put in the planning commissions, put in the building departments, put in the chambers, put in restaurants, put in well, that's next.
Yes.
Sent to the editors of the Modesto Bee
Yeah,
and every local newspaper.
yeah, thank you. If you want more help on ideas. I'm sure there's many that could help you
Mm-hmm.
on where this could be distributed.
Thank you.
Well, I think we retain convey, and that's part of their mission.
Yeah.
To get information into the hands
Mm-hmm.
that is in a way that people that aren't in their 70s and 80s, like this illustrious body here, consume information this day. Oh, I think you're a little bit over 70. Okay. So, yeah, that editor of the newspaper, local newspaper, I'm still looking for him right now because I don't think he lives here anymore. Sorry, go ahead, Derek.
To add to Mr. Lewis, I think, yeah, right on target. And I think the comments are coming from the excitement of how great this looks. So Gene, this is fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
And therefore, when you have something like this, you want to brag about it. I call this a brag book, you know, what's taking place. What I would like to see is maybe also, and I apologize if you mentioned it and I missed it, but this maybe be online, and Paul and I were just talking about this,
Yeah, good.
is that people can access it, download it, because
Mhm.
sometimes it's hard to get this to everybody.
Yeah, it's online right now in English and Spanish on Measure L website and our.
And then we promote that so people know they can go to it. We create a QR code for it, whatever it takes,
Okay.
so they can make this accessible to them to do stuff like that. Heck, for me, put it on Audible and it'll be just fine. So, but thank you. This is good. If we can just add that, we're great. We'll keep it going.
Okay, thank you so much.
I just want to add to, Derek brings up a good point here with QR codes. I don't know if it'd be possible to add QR codes to the Measure L signs on the road, but that
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't be a bad idea to, a lot of people don't know what Measure L is. They see the sign, they don't know what it is, but if you can, everybody knows what a QR code is, and if you throw your phone up, put your camera app on it, it'll take you right to it. So I'm not sure if that's something that can be implemented on those signs, but
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a great idea, and yes, it can. I mean, we're the ones who own the, um, the signage, so we can make those changes, yes. In fact, I'll ask Convey to do that for us, yeah.
So, Gene, let's talk, I guess it's never too early to start talking about how we can make improvements next year.
No,
So
I would love to hear your comment.
we appreciate, I know there was a lot of hard work put into this. I think one of the things that I know that even on our committee is we were giving comments kind of in a desperate manner. We were all individually giving comments. We were trying to. It was no way for our committee to coordinate our comments because you sent it out and we had to all kind of send comments in, and it was hard to. I think that's so. I've asked the executive director to next year. Let's calendar when drafts are so that we can have meetings where we can see the draft, have a meeting, and give our comments in a way that we're all together and we can have conversations.
I appreciate that.
That would be
yes.
their first recommendation.
Yeah,
Second
and
recommendation.
Just to let you know on that, I definitely will be starting on it much sooner next year. I did not like the rushing at all. I'm not a rushing type person, and I didn't feel good about the way that we had to handle it at that point. But we will do our best to start much earlier so that you can have that input that I know you want. So I appreciate your comment.
And then the second big issue is that when we did see the draft, it was clear that every local jurisdiction had written their
Yeah. Mhm.
portion, and then we were trying to get a universal tone out of it, which
Mhm.
the tone went all over the place because it was written by, at least 11 different people.
Right.
So I would hope that Convey would not only have a direction they want, what do you want people to take away from this?
Mhm.
And have a universal tone throughout it so that the tone of all the verbiage sounds like it's, uniform. I think, yeah. So that's the next, that's the next big suggestion. And that also allowing that tone to come through, we also then can choose what we want the outcome. When talk about what outcomes we want from report. We want someone to know that the dollars are spent wisely, then that they're leveraged well, and that projects are getting done. That is in here. It's not, it's herky jerky if
Yeah.
you read it, right? So again, thank you for this. But we have some work to do for our next annual report, and and because the fiscal year is over in 5 months, we got to start now.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. And I appreciate Member Lewis's point there. I do think there's some areas that we could have sort of really drilled down a little bit more on. And yeah, so that I think as we go along and Vice Chair Dammy as well. So anyway, I do appreciate all your comments.
So Derek has it, and then Dave. So Derek.
Not to, but my thing is that, to kind of echo a little bit, and I'd be happy, I don't know if we can meet, we have to stay on a regular regimen of meetings, or if we can meet off, have special meetings, but even this part, which is probably one of my little issues, was that, and this I hope would make it easier for you, because you're putting so much time and effort into this, is that the cities, the cities, I would like to see them held accountable to following a format, not just someone's interpretation of what they think you want.
Yeah.
Because that makes it rough on you, and I don't want to see that, because you're doing so much work on this, but a format of, this is the information we want, and if we get it back and it's not the way you want it, then we go back to them again and say, no, you're
Yeah.
not. Because then this thing will get even better, and that's kind of where I'm at with it.
No, that's a great suggestion. And yeah, I think a template that we give them a little bit of a template, but not enough to really get them to start speaking, represent, as you said, in a universal fashion. So I think we just need to be a little bit more precise on when we say, what is your project? How much did it cost? What is it? And then when you write it out, here's your accomplishments. Here's what your goals were in the first place, your accomplishments, and what is the result. There's something wrong. Yeah, and here's how you leverage. Yeah,
Here's an example of a good one, all that to make it better.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I think by providing the guiding questions will definitely bring a cohesive report that has a unison voice across the.
Yeah. Yes, and I do agree that it was a little bit, we tried to, as we were writing it, it was Blake and I, we tried to make them as universal as we could, but we didn't have enough meat to show them exactly what we wanted. But now we're getting better. We have Convey, who, as a part of what they do these kind of reports for a lot of agencies, not just ours, that can help us with that too and guide us along. If we've missed something, that's what I would look for them to do too, to help us make it a more universal, a better flow to the whole report.
I just forgot to turn it off, but as far as a rush job, I say you did well.
Oh, thank you.
All right. Is there anyone else on this topic?
Yeah, just,
Mike?
I'm been working on a project on my day job where we've involved a publicist that he used to be a reporter for the Sacramento Bee, and he's out on his own. He's a freelance guy. And I've been we're working with a company here that is helping us with a written report. I'm just wondering about work product even. Okay, so you got this, but like this guy, he's publishing a video, very short video. It goes on my client's website, and it's got drone videos mixed in and flashing photos, and a very professionally done published video with snaps, snaps or little interviews, pieces of interviews. He spent 10 minutes talking to me, and about 10 minutes talking to two other guys. And what came out took maybe 10 seconds of what I said, about 10 seconds of what the other guy said, and 10 seconds of what the third guy said, and put it into a video, and it went pow.
Yep.
Like that. And so I suspect they can do stuff like that.
Yeah,
for
they're
us,
doing
too.
our website, the Measure L website revamp, so that's where you would see something like that. They're called Rail? Reels.
And they are gonna do that for social media and other things.
Yeah, and social media.
Yeah, real.
I'm with you. I'll look over it.
All right. Are we ready to wrap this portion up of the meeting? Okay. Let's move now to our information item. And Jean, is there anything you want to highlight in our normal quarterly report that we see of funds received? Is there anything we should look at in particular, or is it,
I don't have anything special to report on that. Thank
are
you.
there any questions or comments on our normal quarterly report? Don't see any. This is the time we'd normally have an executive director report. Rosa asked, she had to take a phone call that was important, and so she apologized. She had hoped to maybe be back in here by now, but that's not going to happen. Is there any other member of the staff who wants to say anything? You want to admonish us on legal issues of any kind, Monica?
No, but it's the first time we've seen you this year, so Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Everyone, thank you for joining us this evening.
Okay, at this time, we'll move to member reports. Are there any members who want to give any type of report or update? Justin?
Just a couple of comments. One, I don't know if you guys have heard, but Brian Whitemeyer is moving on from Oakdale, so we're losing him as a city manager. To City of Folsom. It's going to be tough to replace that position because he's done such a great job for the last 12 years. I think he's been in that position. So that was the first thing. And the other thing I wanted to mention was in my day job, I watch a lot of these projects bid, and I was happy to see that the North County corridor, while it was estimated at about 172 million, the low bid was 144. So surprisingly, it came in under. Now, at the end of the day, I don't know where it's going to end up, but I saw that the Board of Supervisors are etched to award it at the end of February, and it's on schedule. So that's all I got.
Any other reports?
Do we need an update on what's going on with the train, the rail system, or we're just gonna let that? Do we be up to date on that?
We can ask them to come next time.
We had an update early last year, and we can get an update again on, I think specifically, obviously, we are storing away money
That's correct.
because we're going to have to have an operational, we're going to have to give money annually for this, for rail service here in Stanislaus County. And so we're storing that money away right now for that. But I don't have an update on the Stockton Diamond timeline, but that
Yeah.
is the hurdle. Also, the double track from Ripon to Modesto is the hurdle. And so I would be very curious where those are two large capital projects. And those are, is my understanding, those are both funded because of, those go back to SB1 funding and a federal grant that was achieved about 18 months ago. So the question is, what those are, with rail projects, it's never the funding, it's always dealing with the rail. So maybe they can give us an idea of how that's going.
Okay.
If that'll be it, because once those are in, obviously we've done our capital project, and it's unfortunately just sitting there waiting.
Yeah. The other idea too could be that we do have the city of Modesto come, not city of Modesto, Stan RTA come and give a report on themselves and that the transit center. It's up to you though.
I think the first, I think the first question would be yes, we could hear from STRA, but also I think the first question would be from the rail, okay, we're all funded. What's going to happen? What's the timeline?
Okay.
It would be good to hear from Rosa too. And also my day job, I'm hearing all these grants that are frozen for the moment because of President Trump's executive order and rescindance of the order. The one that came today is because he's rescinded it, the judge has stepped in and said you can't spend federal money on grant or loan money. So it's utter confusion right now, and I'm sure that that's affecting a lot of our projects.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. Rosa's getting, from what I know, Rosa's getting a lot of updates from NARC, the national area, national, maybe regional councils, Association of Regional Councils. And so it's still sort of a mix. And she does want to report out to the various committees, but she doesn't want to report out until we know, because it's not for certain yet. You hear one thing one day and then the next day it's a reversal. So in order to not be confusing, she's monitoring that and she can talk to that. But at this point, again, every day you hear something a little bit different. Oh, Monica.
Yeah, and I'll just add that we are working very, very closely with our federal advocate in DC, and they're almost daily briefings. And Ms. Rosa is standing in the hallway, so I'm going to allow her to come in and interject if she would like to. But it is a fluctuating, it's a moving target, so we are aware of it and working on it. And they were asking the question regarding the roller coaster that is DC and the pause and unpause on federal funding and status updates.
Thank you. Good evening, members. I'm sorry that I missed part of the meeting, but yes, we are following this very closely. There is a lot of changes. According to we have a federal lobbyist that is actually in DC, making sure that, you know, if there's a risk or something that she feels, or the team feels that we are going to be needing to pay attention, they're watching everything very closely. They have asked the regions to start planning and working and bringing up their projects lists that are like in the middle of a project. Like we have North County Corridor right now that received a federal grant. We have State Route 132 West that we're preparing to go after even more money. So even the monies that already been programmed or been where we can say, the way that the federal government reimburses us is like you expend some expenses on the project, and then you have to ask, okay, I completed 20% of this work, and then they reimburse you. So it's, but that's when money's already been approved to you and it's there for you to use. Well, they were even talking that the federal government is even trying to pause those funds. And that would create a problem for our region, because State Route 132 is in the middle of our second phase of our project, and that delay would be hurtful for us. And, you know, you delay any construction projects of that magnitude and prices go up. And so we're very closely watching all of this. But right now, the pause was suspended, it was rescinded, and so we're back to normal. But they're even questioning that it could still come back to some level. It was just that they threw that blanket out for everything, right? And it was difficult. And the 24 hours that it lasted created a lot of turmoil everywhere. So.
But even today, I saw that a judge had stepped in because it was lifted from New York. New York had a lawsuit because it was lifted. So it just left more questions in my mind than answers.
Right. And I think that's how a lot of Americans in a lot of regions right now, we're all feeling that, because there's not a concise answer. But
Rosa, is there anything else you were out of the room when your report was? Is there
sorry.
anything else you'd like to tell us?
So
If not, okay too.
no, I do want to, and I don't know if Jean covered that, but you know, we do have this public outreach consultant that we've hired to work with our region and all of our member agencies as we're developing our projects, as we're, you know, there's a lot of good things happening, and we really want to emphasize that we're going to do all of our efforts to make sure that, you know, we're highlighting our projects and we're helping our member agencies bring that out to to the community so people know. So,
We did discuss that and we got a lot of great feedback from the group.
right. We're, I know you got the annual report, but that is something that we definitely, I know internally here, we feel that we want to make improvements to that. So for the future, and we want more people giving us feedback because it's you, the public and everyone else that actually reading this. So we want to make it for the public to be happy and proud of this document. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, I think if that's all. I think we're going to bring this meeting to a close. I call this meeting adjourned.